run by the Central Intelligence Agency. Originally started as something called Bluebird in 1948-49, morphed into Artichoke, and then in 1952 became MK-Ultra. It was a mind control program, a brainwashing program. The CIA was trying to learn how to control people's behavior without their knowledge. All came out in Senate and congressional hearings in the 70s. It was exposed. Their main objective to create what they called hypno-programmed assassins, people who would kill on command through drugs and hypnotism and commit an act of murder against their moral code and have no memory of their programming and be amnesic even of the act after the fact often. A scientist named Jolly West, Louis J. West, I learned that West had been at the same place that Manson was in the Haight in the summer that Manson became exactly what the CIA was trying to create. And he was an expert in violence, hypnotism, brainwashing, and he was the chair of the psychiatry department at UCLA at that point. But when I did a little research, I found out that there had been these allegations that he'd been involved in MKUltra. He always denied it. He was never prosecuted, never even investigated, but I got access to his files, which had been left at UCLA. And sure enough, I eventually found it. It was correspondence between Jolly West and Sidney Gottlieb, the doctor that ran MKUltra, beginning in 1953, conducting experiments on people without their knowledge. Everything that he had been accused of and denied, he did. Not only did he do it, he created the blueprint for the whole program with Gottlieb. The fact that all these interesting research programs merged and then Manson came out of it with the power to do exactly what the MKUltra had been trying to create for up to that point. I have all these letters between him and the guy who was running the program describing how they're going to do it, hide it from his colleagues. When he started at Lackland Air Force Base, running the psychiatry department at the hospital there in 1952. That's when he started his experiments on prisoners, human subjects, and one letter to Gottlieb, he says, eventually we have to take these experiments out into the field.
Oh, Jesus.
Exactly.
What does that mean?
West contracted with the CIA to do these experiments. July 4th, 1954, a 3-year-old girl went missing from the parking lot of a bar about 11 or 12 at night. Now, her parents, it was a heat wave. They couldn't sleep. They went to the bar. They brought their 2 kids. They let them play in the parking lot at midnight. The little girl disappeared. They organized a search party about 3 or 4 hours later, had called the local sheriff and said there's a guy here that wandered out of the brush with scratches and blood, no shirt, and he doesn't know how he got here or who he is. The police came. His name was Jimmy Shaver. He was an airman. They did a search and they found the little girl's body not too far away, and she had been raped and murdered by this guy who had no memory of doing it. The guy had no history of violence. He had a couple kids, and he was a flight instructor at the school. He'd been in the military for a number of years. I think he was in his early 30s. Well, guess who became his psychiatrist in preparation for the trial? Jolly West, who inserted himself into the case and then extracted his memory from him using sodium pentothal, where he admitted to the murder. Now, in the context of what we found out West was doing and what his objectives were at that same time, it raises huge questions about this was an experiment, that he was part of one of these experiments at Lackland Air Force Base where he was signed up. During the trial, it came out that he had had treatment for severe migraines, experimental treatment at Lackland.